Interest rates, tariffs, and political showdowns. Canada's economics are serving up more twists than a daytime soap opera. So, what's really happening in 2025 and how does it affect you? Stick around because we're going to take a deep dive into this, and yes, there will be a little sarcasm along the way. Hey everyone, Myles Nowik here from the Nowik Mortgage Team, powered by Indy Mortgage. Today we're breaking down the wild world of Canadian economics. From interest rates that'll have you rethinking your mortgage to political drama that feels like it's straight out of Netflix. There's a lot to cover, so let's just jump right into it. First up, the Bank of Canada is deciding whether to cut that overnight lending rate from 3.25 down to 3%, and that meeting is happening tomorrow. Now, before you zone out at the mention of basis points, here's why this matters. Lower rates could mean cheaper mortgages and loans for Canadians, but the decision isn't just about that. With inflation sitting stable under 2% and consumer spending on the rise, TD Bank predicts that the Bank of Canada will opt for a cautious 25 basis point cut compared to the previous 50-point cuts that we were seeing. And just to keep things interesting, the looming threat of US tariffs is hanging over this decision like a dark cloud. My take on this, I agree with TD. I really do think we're going to see a 0.25% cut from Prime. Speaking of dark clouds, let's talk about Trump a little more. The president has threatened a 25% tariff on all Canadian exports, and it's got the economic alarm bells ringing. Ontario and British Columbia alone could lose over 600,000 jobs, and the Canadian dollar would take a nosedive if this comes to fruition. The Bank of Canada is bracing for stagflation as the government's counter tariffs are ready to fire back. But here's the kicker. If inflation expectations go haywire, interest rate hikes might follow. It's a game of economic chicken, with Canada and the United States heading towards each other at full speed for a head-on collision. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I can say I'd love to be a fly on the wall for both the US and Canadian meetings about these tariffs. Here's hoping they don't come to fruition, though. Trade wars suck, and all they do is damage the countries involved and their relationships. Maybe we just need some, couple counseling. Might work. Now, staying on the course of the tariff train for a moment, well, Canada's economy grew by 3.2% in Q4 of 2024. A proposed 25% US tariff could derail that momentum faster than a snowstorm grounding flights in small towns like Nanaimo. Small and medium-sized businesses are particularly vulnerable to this, with 82% expecting severe disruptions because of tariffs. Here's a quote from the CFIB's chief economist. "Balancing the economic environment to support small business growth and competitiveness is crucial." The translation of that? We're walking a tightrope here, folks. Now, for some good news, inflation is cooling down, with predictions that it's going to stay down or even continue dropping. But before we pop bottles of champagne, once again, US tariffs could push inflation rate back up. Core inflation remains steady at 2.6%, so the Bank of Canada is likely to keep cutting rates to support growth. The big takeaway, inflation might finally stop bullying our wallets, but it's a fragile piece that could break at any moment. Kind of like trying to keep toddlers from spilling juice on the carpet. It's virtually impossible. I mean, the cup has a spill-proof lid, and it's still on the carpet. It's on the carpet. Side note, if you know carpet cleaners, please help. Now for a bonus. Finally, a little political drama to spice things up in this video that's so bland and boring and all about tariffs and bad news. We have the list of people stepping into the ring for the leadership of the Liberal Party. Chrystia Freeland is, of course, on this list, and as to no surprise, but it does kind of make me question her resignation. Did she really drop out and resign because she didn't like Trudeau, or did she do it to get a leg up when tossing her hat in the ring for Prime Minister? I'm just throwing it out there. Either way, I find myself questioning our leadership and our parliament on a lot of different levels, both federally and provincially. Don't care what party, don't care who we're talking about. It seems like a lot of these people are running around trying to get in front of cameras to grab some time in the limelight. Honestly, we're facing something massive, and none of them seem to want to work together on this. Now is not the time to be arguing back and forth. It's the time to sit down and come up with a plan and a solution that hopefully doesn't screw Canadians, like, a trade war would. It's time to get off the cameras and get to work. These threats from the United States are going to affect people, and I have a feeling the people most affected by this are not going to be our politicians. It's going to be the people who are making the median income. And I can almost guarantee, I don't know what politicians make, but I can almost guarantee you they're not making the median income. They're making more than that. They have disposable income. But those people that don't, they're going to be in trouble. So honestly, Get off the cameras, get off your ass, do your bloody job. Wow, kind of went on a tangent on that one. Whew, I need a minute to cool down. So there you have it. Interest rates, tariffs, inflation, housing policies, and a touch of political intrigue. What does it all mean? Canada's economy is balancing on a knife's edge, and the choices we make now are going to shape 2025 and beyond. But I really want to know what you think of all this. Are lower interest rates on the way? Are they enough to keep us afloat? Or is this tariff storm too big to weather? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you got any value out of this, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel to help me grow and so that more people like you can see this video. Once again, my name's Myles Nowik. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.